Hotep Senu.
Okay, let's check this out.
Yeah.
Hotep Senu.
Hena Senut.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Hotep Senu. Hena Senut.
Hotep Senu Hena Senut. Itir and Isha Kandugu Kemet. I hope you're doing well. I just want to look for one book cover and then we're good to go. We're going to talk about the meaning of the word Kemet. What does it mean? It's funny because I almost forgot the most significant book, and that book goes without saying. So, almost forgot Gardner. So, Gardner Egyptian grammar will look better with the book cover. I'm looking for a nice one. There it is. Might as well use this one. Oh, just not. Let's see. I don't have any nice covers here. Now, I'm sorry about the fan noise. The fan noise. It's so warm. Now, we'll have to settle for. Oh, if I put the Griffith Institute, okay, so I don't like this cover. Griffith Institute. Wow, I'll have to settle for less. Okay, finally. See, seek and you shall find. So let me save that one. Adina. And I add it to the slide and we're good to go. Adina. Great. So I'm going to share the slide. I'm going to use the pen. And now we're good to go. Now, as usual, I've shared the invite link. So if anybody feels like getting on the panel, then he's free to do so. However, you must show your face. So if for whatever reason you don't want to, then you have the chat where you can participate, make your comments, ask your questions, whether you agree or disagree, feel free. So let me share the screen so we can go through those slides. For the record, at first, I started preparing the biographies of those scholars. Oh, I don't want to start with this one. Oh, it's okay. It's okay. It's the first one. And I realized that it was just a bit too meticulous because at the end of the day, it's safe to say that the majority of the scholars, if not all of them, are actually Egyptologists. They are most likely all PhDs, you see. But so we're going to start with James P. Allen in his very famous book called Middle Egyptian. Now you can see on page 533. Within the dictionary, we have here Kemet. The land is called Egypt today, and it tells us that literally black land. Okay, so that's one. I didn't say it. On page 463, that's towards the end of the book, in the section Where to Go from Here, he recommends several books by his peers and people who were there before him. So he wrote, there were very few such grammars in English intended specifically for the serious beginner other than Gardner's Egyptian Grammar. The basic reference book for Middle Egyptian remains Gardner's Grammar. That book is still in print, and if you intend to continue working with Middle Egyptian texts, you owe it to yourself to have your own copy. All right? He adds, its grammatical theory is now outdated, but it is still unmatched in depth and detail, including a number of the more unusual constructions not included in the current book. Now, don't worry about what's highlighted. That's because, like I said, I had forgotten to quote from Gardiner actually. I went through all the other books except for Gardiner. So we have Joe Sir in the place to be. Why do you have that name like this? Um, because it spells dozer, not Joser. But that's out of curiosity. It's not an attack. It's just really out of curiosity. On YouTube, you cannot really change your username like that. So, okay. So we do what? Let me go back. Oh, okay, wrong position. All right. So if I go back now, there it is. So Egyptian grammar, page 57. Now we'll double check that it is definitely page 57. Actually, I can even show you. I will unshare and go straight to the PDF. Now, Joseph wrote, I forgot to read what he said. Set the record straight, Shaka. I'm thankful for your teaching. So that's Egyptian grammar by Gardner, and we can see that this is page 57. Okay, and here it is. Top right corner. Hold on, don't start with me now. All right, that's because I didn't have the hand. Kemet, the Black Land, i.e., Egypt. Okay. Now, let me go back to the slide. There it is. Okay, so page 57. Kemet, the Black Land, i.e., Egypt. Now, I did not really specify it, but this is the Kem glyph. Got in a reference I6. Okay, so that's the biliteral Kem. It stands for the sound Kem, the K and the M sound, or K and or M sound. This is the owl. It's a uniliteral, which means it's a symbol that stands for one sound, one phonetic value, which is the M. It is what we call in this instance a phonetic complement because we don't repeat the M. We don't read this Kem M. We just read that Kem. And finally, we have the bread loaf or loaf of bread, which has, many of you probably know that already, it's also a uniliteral. It has a phonetic value T. or T, as we say in English. So all these spells Kemet. Of course, the I was going to say the standard. The convention of Egyptology is for us to add the vowel E between consonants. It just makes it smoother to pronounce. A few of you probably know that, but in a Coptic, which is the latest phase or the latest stage of the Medu Neter, Kemet, if I'm not mistaken, is pronounced Keme. The T is dropped. Okay, so and words for black also are similar, with the same root. So we do have it again, the I6 biliteral chem, the phonetic complement for the sound M, and the loaf of bread. And I forgot to say at the bottom, it's the Newt glyph. Now Mark Collier and Bia Manley, they pronounce it Newt. We don't have the letter I or the letter J. Basically, we don't have the E sound. But most other Egyptologists will transliterate it as a Newt. So basically, this glyph shows a location, a town, a country, so on. So it's just a determinative. It doesn't have any phonetic value in this word, in this word. Yes. So and you can check also. If I'm not mistaken, the Gardner reference is 049, and we are told that it's a crossroad. I have yet to see that glyph being described by a PhD as something to do with water or whatever. So now the other recommendation, still on page 463 of James P. Allen's Middle Egyptian, it says another grammar written in English and directed at the beginning student is James E. Osh's Middle Egyptian Grammar. Okay, and that's the book here. And on page 113, lesson 8, we do have the same thing, Kemet, Egypt, the Black Land. As a matter of fact, um, I've read from Middle Egyptian James P. Allen. Now, on Egyptian grammar, I forgot to read the Black Land. Okay, maybe I did, but anyway. And now, with this other book by James E. Osh, we see Kemet, Egypt, the Black Land. And this book is available on a is it a university's website? But it's available online. It's broken down in several chapters and so on. Now, I think there's a mistake with the book cover. Let me go through my notes because I have the same book cover but two different quotes. So I've put the wrong book cover. It's obvious. 291. Which one was it? Let me read the recommendation. Don't like that. Okay, James E. Arch. Let's do this. Let's do this. We have time anyway. We're not in a rush. Okay. There it is, James Arch. And if I go to page 8, 118, 113. 113, 11, 113. Yeah, that's the right one. So, 291, which book would it be? Oh, you see, I confused myself. We have two quotes from the same book, and I will double check. 291 this time. Yeah, like probably two or three books we have two quotes, but let me double check. So 291. It's important to be meticulous, really. 291. Yes, indeed. So, page 113 of James E. Archer's Middle Egyptian Grammar, we have Kemet, Egypt, in parentheses, the Black Land. So we can see that the root Kem stands for black. And then on page 291, once again, we have two different spelling. Well, that spelling, actually, I've never seen that spelling on an original artifact. But actually, the second loaf of bread is a phonetic complement of the newt glyph. You see, I really don't recall seeing that spelling on an original artifact. So Kemet, place name, feminine, Egypt, literally the Black Land. Okay. Then we have another recommendation still on page 463 of James P. Allen's Middle Egyptian, and it's Gertie England's. I'm not sure how to pronounce it because I think someone from the Netherlands, like, but anyway, uh, Middle Egyptian, an introduction, second edition. Okay, and here you can see the book there. Oh my goodness, why I don't have the page? Okay, yes, that's the introduction, and that's page number 9 because here we can see the separation. So here we have page 10, so it's page number 9. So right from the introduction of that book, we have that's the Kem glyph, that's the owl, that's the loaf of bread, that's the newt glyph. So it says the black in parentheses earth equals Egypt. Okay, so far we have the same translation. So Joseph explains uh, that it's a translation of Zoser from the Arabic. So where are you from, brother? Are you fluent in Arabic? Um, how do we say it? I'm not sure about the order, but is it Ain min anta or anta min Ain? Anta min Misra? Anta min Suri? Anta min Lubnan? Anta min Iraq? Anta min Urdun? So French is Joser, not Arabic. I gave you the website phonetic spelling of Zozozo. Well, for the record, according to the transliteration in the Medo-Nature, in the glyphs, it is pronounced Joser with that J sound at the beginning. Um, but indeed, in French, we say Joser, and many words have the O sound, and we do find the O sound in the Coptic, like what we call Sen, they call it Son. So that's most likely why we say Hotep rather than say Hetep. But anyway, it's not a big deal. It's not a big deal. And of course, the Arabs, they have their way of pronouncing those different names. So, but once again, the spelling Joser or Jezer, the J at the beginning, doesn't come from the France from the French, but actually from the glyphs. Okay, let's continue. So we have another book. We have a few, obviously, as you have noticed. This time it's by Joris F. Burroughs. Burroughs. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. It's called Egyptian: An Introduction to the Writing and Language of the Middle Kingdom. All right. And well, that's the one who's from the Netherlands. Now I'm not sure about the other one, but anyway, you can all go and look at their biographies, and you will see that they are definitely from the field. So here, that's the book right there. And on the right, we have Kemet. And mind you, here we read from right to left because it can be read from left to right and right to left. Okay. So it says Egypt, literally the black, and in bracket land. And at the bottom, we have Kemi with the determinative of a serpent. And Kemi means what? Black one. All right. So as you can see, it's normal with translation. Here we have the black land, if you will. Here we don't have the, but that's how it works. Just for some of you who might want to, well, from the TLA, some people could put the black land, some people put black land, some people with the chem glyph put black man, but we don't have the word for man. It's like understood or implied, like he kind of goes with that saying. So it's not really taking liberties. But once again, you can have a very famous book translated by two different people in, let's say, a very famous book uh, in Arabic, and two English speakers translate it from the Arabic to the English. They will obviously not have the same words. They'll not use the same vocabulary. Then James P. Allen goes on to say, and it's the same page, it's 463. This is the following page, so we're still on 463. If you read French, a good counterpart to Gardiner is Gustave Lefebvre, Grammaire de l'Égyptien classique. And here we do have the book, that's the cover. And on page 296, uh, we are interested in this line here. And those of you who have started taking the classes can pause the video and look at the glyphs and see if it fits with the transliteration. So at the end, we have a pig or hog. Then it doesn't really look like it too much, but it is the chem glyph. Then we have the M, the owl, which stands for the sound M once again. And this time we do have the determinative of the lock of hair. So some people might want to argue, well, now we have the determinative of the lock of hair, so now it actually stands for a collar. So if they feel like that this way, it's all good. It's just amusing to us. When I say us, it's us who are familiar with the language, with the mother nature. Don't always have determinatives, but anyway. So in French, it says, il arrivera que Seth se transformera en cochon noir. Cochon is the word for hog. Noir is the word for black. I'm not going to put up any dictionary of French to English because they are two well-known language. So anybody is free to look it up. Noir is spelled Noir. So uh, maybe English speakers might want to pronounce it Noir or Noir, but it's pronounced Noir. And you can ask any French speaker. If you know some Haitians, you can ask them because they are familiar with the French. French is kind of somehow, some way the root of the Haitian Creole is kind of mixed, broken French. Just like Swahili has a lot of Arabic, Arabic is kind of the root. Some people will say the Bantu is, but it's kind of mixed. And if you know people from Canada, the French part, or if you know anybody that's from Europe that happens to speak French, a lot of German because it's at the border. So some people know the French. Feel free to ask any French speaker what does noir mean. They will tell you noir means black. It's the main word for black in French. Okay, so what we see is that Kem here is translated as black. All right. Finally, it says literally it's set. I'm sorry, literally it is, then set. He will transform into a black hog or pig. All right. Now, we had a recommendation of a German book, and that's my limit. I don't speak German. Um, Jozo wrote, I will change the spelling. Thanks for the knowledge. No problem at all. But it's a good thing if you can change the spelling of your name. I didn't know you could do that on YouTube. They might allow you to change the name once. Some websites do that. Some social media do that. So of course I'm not gonna quote from the German book because I don't speak German. I'm not familiar with that language. So we have another French book. He says, and that's James P. Allen once again. In his Middle Egyptian, page 463, he wrote, for French speakers, there is also Cours d'Égyptien hiéroglyphique by Pierre Grandet and Bernard Mathieu, Cheops Publishing, or Edition, as we say. And it's from Paris, and it's 2003. So we can see that those work, some of them are quite recent, Gardiner, that's quite old, but 2003 for well, some people will say, well, that's like 17 years ago or 19 years ago, but uh, I would say it's fairly recent because you don't have grammar books about the meta nature every year. Now, so that's the book cover. I think it's about 800 pages. It's very thick. I have it on my desk over there. So I took a picture from the book. We can see it's page 261. Here says, well, just like the English, you have double S. We have the CCD, as we call it. It's basically a C with a little symbol underneath. So it spells leçon, that you pronounce lesson. And here it's like like the exercise reference and so on. So we have ha, ek, aped with the determinative because aped phonetically is spelled here. This one here doesn't have any phonetic value. But anyway, what's of interest for us is this. Oh, snap. The chem glyph, once again, with the owl, which stands for the M, but it's just a phonetic complement. So we read that chem, not chem M. And here we can see chem, that's the transliteration, okay? And in French, we have arrière, which means like back or back off. Aped, oiseau. Oiseau is the word for bird. And noir, like I told you earlier, some of you surely remember what noir means in French. Noir means black. All right. And we have page 647. This time is leçon 55, lesson 55. Of course, different reference points. Now here, dit nom et surnom se rapportant à des qualités physiques ou morales. Names and nicknames related to physical qualities. Let's put it this way: related to physical or moral qualities. All right. And what is of interest for us here? Now, you see, even if you don't study the meta nature, so far you heard me saying that the owl, OWL, stands for the sound M. Now, through the videos, you might have heard that the relief stands for the sound E. So we have the owl, the reed leaf. So M-M-E. And what is the transliteration here? M-M. Now it's a J indeed, but mind you, the transliteration can be the letter I or the letter J. It's the same phonetic value. It's the same sound, which is E. Okay. Most people use the letter I from my observation. When I say most people, I mean most Egyptologists. But some use the J. So that spells Memi. And what do we have after? Once again, the I6 glyph, Kem. But this time we have a determinative of a seated man. And here, Memi, le noir. Le means the. And it's really for masculine words, but you don't have that issue in English. So Memi, the black. You see? And we have the determinative of a person, a seated man. All right? Now we do have some references here. You need to have the book to see the reference, but it goes in detail about this reference. Here's basically the abbreviation, the PN, and then this, if I'm not mistaken, is the letter I, and then you have like some references, probably page numbers. So that's for this book. Now let me see if there's any messages. No messages. Y'all shy like that, brothers and sisters. I need to speak loud. I was speaking loud actually. It's 1 a.m. right now. I don't want to bother my neighbors. So don't be shy, even if you don't want to call in, at least, try to participate in the chat. Now, let me see if you can hear me okay when I talk like this. I was just talking so loud, I just realized that now. I was just talking so loud, I just realized that now. It's okay, you can hear me when I talk like that. It's beautiful. Well, never mind. If you're shy, you're shy. What can I do? And now we have another book here, and a more recent counterpart to Gardener's Grammar by Michel Malaise and Jean Winon, Grammaire raisonnée de l'égyptien classique. And now we have the book cover here, and beside, I'm sorry, yes, besides, we will have page 451. And here, once again, the Kem glyph, Gardiner reference I6 with the phonetic complement. Then we have the swallow, which is a biliteral, and we have the phonetic complement of the previous glyph. So here we have Kem Ur. Now I've noticed, for example, how to read Egyptian hieroglyphs by Beam Manley and Mark Collier. They've put the W as a phonetic value U or W like in English. So I understand now why some people will pronounce it, for example, Kem where. But most Egyptologists informs us that the W is transliterated, or basically it's the sound. It's a transliteration for the sound U. And yeah, but what's important here is the Kem. Now we have the French grande noire. Now some of you who have attention to detail might notice that we have an E at the end of the word noir, the word noir that we've seen earlier. The E here is a mark of feminine, okay? And in English, you don't have to worry about that. We do have genders for objects. A table is feminine, a car is feminine. And it might feel strange, but some languages have genders for objects. So grande is the feminine of grand. So basically, grande means big. In English, you just say big, whether it's for male or female, but in French, for masculine, we will say grand. For feminine, we will say grande. So usually the e at the end of a word is a mark. Usually, not all the time, is a mark of a feminine. See, so great black, okay, and black of course is Kem. Ur is great, and those the classes know that. All right, and on page 714, you can see Gardiner reference I6, and what do they say? Crocodile skin, and this is the word that you will call what is it again in English? Is it scale, like fish scale, something to that effect? But there's a question mark, which means that the authors are not sure, or at least one of the two. And he also says for an unknown reason. However, we have Kem, and we have in parentheses Kemet. Now, don't mind the dot before the T. They put a dot in the transliteration, it's something common. And it says la noire. Now, la is the feminine of le. For masculine word, we say le. In English, you say the, whether it's masculine or feminine, whether it's male or female. In French, we say le for masculine and la for feminine. So noir, once again, with the E. So that's the feminine of the word black. But in English, once again, you just say black, whether it's for masculine or feminine gender. But in French, we just add the E. Now, phonetically, it's the same. Noir with the E, or I think I've been saying E so far, but E is the French for E. So noir with the E at the end or without the E at the end is still pronounced the same phonetically. In writing, however, you see the difference. So the black, and it goes on to say designation of Egypt. Okay. Sorry if it was noisy. Can you tell me if you can hear me loud and clear, if you don't mind? I'm gonna wait a little bit, see if there's there's at least some participation. So far, it's only Josa who has been interacting. Can you hear me loud and clear? Because I don't mind, stopping now and doing a part two. But at least if there's the least participation, then I can just, go on. There's not too many slides anyway, There's not too many slides left, but, I really don't mind doing a part two. I don't mind that there's low numbers, that there's not many people in attendance, but, at least let's have some interaction. So can you hear me loud and clear, brothers and sisters? Or should I call it a day and try again tomorrow or some other day and see if there are some people willing to participate? It doesn't take much to type in the chat. It doesn't take much to type in the chat. Can you all hear me loud and clear? Well, okay, let's do that. Let's call this part one, and I'll do part two tomorrow. Stay safe, stay healthy, and if I'm allowed to, by the Necheru, I will definitely holler back at you. Hotel. Now, for the record, for those who don't know, I'm giving middle nature classes. And here, that's the flyer. Okay? So, those who are interested, feel free to holler at me. If you're not interested, it's cool. But I recommend that everybody who has not yet seen the video, Kemet and Ma'at, before Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, then watch it. It has about 300,000 views and really deserves to have a lot more.
I just want to let everyone know who's who's listening in now and who's going to listen to this stream in the future. I just had my first Meta class by Brother Shaka today, and I've had other Meta lessons by other teachers, and I can tell you right now, the brother is the best in the game. He is that was one of the best classes I've ever had, ever. So if you're interested in learning the Meta, if you're interested in getting the basics of it, Brother Shaka is an awesome teacher. Get with him, and it's extremely affordable. This brother is giving us his time and his skills, and he's basically giving it away. I mean, I just consider it a donation. You know what I'm saying? So if anybody's interested in learning the Meta, get with this brother right here. He's an awesome teacher. And I'll end with that.
Hotep Senu, Hena Senut. This is Julie, also known as Servant of Yah, and I'm currently taking the Medunetia classes with Brother Shaka, and it has been an amazing experience. Only 2 lessons so far, and I feel like I've been taking the classes for months, just with the how in depth he goes into the vocabulary words, the construction of the language, the grammar. It's been immeasurable, the experience. And one thing that comes across, hands down, is his extreme passion for teaching this to anyone who is willing to learn and has an interest in learning. So I highly suggest, if you are interested, even a minimal interest, that you subscribe to the classes with Brother Shaka. It's such a nominal amount for how much you get. I know, like, our last class was over 2.5 hours. It felt like 2 minutes, but because that's how involved you are in what he's teaching and how he teaches and how compassionate he is about what he teaches. Also with sharing materials free of charge, no question, no doubt. It's just what he does. He doesn't have to, but he does. And so I just wanted to give a short testimonial about the class and the effectiveness of the class, and all of that is attested to how studied Brother Shaka is. So I highly recommend anyone with a minimal interest that you do sign up for the Medunetia class. Hotep.
Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, which is Ma'at Forever. Don't forget to watch the video entitled Kemet and Ma'at. Don't forget to share Kemet and Ma'at on my channel on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, or other social media that you use. Email, text messages, you name it. Those who wish to donate can do so on paypal.me/ma'atforever.